Stadia continues right along, enhancing the platform's seamless nature. And this time it's creating some buzz. See, as Stadia improves gamer experience with this new addition, it's SDO Daily, baby. Let's get into this one. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of the SDO Daily. Welcome. Do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, all right? Hit that subscribe button and rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boy's dropping these doses. We appreciate all of y'all. Straight up, y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, and by now y'all should know the slogan, we are not too proud to ask, all right? So, before we get into this one, we want to break this down into three parts. First, we want to talk about the backdrop to this whole story. We're going to talk about why this new implementation is important. And then lastly, we're going to sum it all up in our conclusion. So first and foremost, let's talk that backdrop, all right? So what's going on here? Well, if you've been living under a rock, you may have missed a lot of the corner side or fireside chats, whatever you want to call it, in regards to Stadia and their longevity. We've seen a couple of really brow-raising articles, and we've noticed some chatter here and there scattered throughout the community about, is Stadia going to be around? Or are they staying around? What are they doing? They don't have Call of Duty yet, day and date. Where's Fortnite? You know, and all stuff like that. And what Stadia's been doing, despite all this chatters, they've been building their infrastructure, as they've alluded to, since their big pivot. Now, what are we talking about, the big pivot? The big pivot is when they closed down SG&E. Some looked at that big pivot as Stadia winding down. Stadia announced it as a big pivot. We realized that, hey, our resources are better aligned and better used somewhere else. And while we're in the early years, we realized we better focus on this now and make this pivot now before, you know, we really get ourselves knee deep into some issues. So they've made the pivot. They've made the focus on their features and on making the user experience as seamless as possible. And they've continued to execute on that. And that's great stuff. And they've continued to execute on the plug and play and the seamless use with its newest implementation, which is we're now seeing multiplayer games break the barrier of requiring an invitation for the most part. What am I talking about? Let me show you something. This is an article from our good friends at Chrome Unboxed, and it reads as follows. You can join multiplayer Stadia games without an invite. It is from our good friend Michael Perigo of Chrome Unboxed. And he says in an update, Stadia has multiplayer games since launch with the ability to join public lobbies of players. So just so there's no confusion, because like for instance, it depends on the game. When I play Division 2, if you're part of my clan, you can hop in my game or whatever. So it wasn't for every single need that you had to have, you know what I'm saying? You had to have an invite for every single instance, but it wasn't broadly available. Now it's making it broadly available. All right. And the article continues to read, when you join a multiplayer game on any console or even PC, you normally don't need an invite to do so. Just boot up the game, enter the lobby, and you'll be automatically matched with others before the round begins. Up until now, Google Stadia has required users to send and accept invites to private games in order to be matched up with their friends. Now, however, the ability to jump in some gameplay with your buddies on supported titles without needing an invite has been added to the company's cloud gaming platform. So far, 9 to 5 Google has noticed this as working on Far Cry 6, but Google's support page states that it will operate with select games, so more are likely to become compatible as time passes and the features roll out to everyone. So great stuff, good stuff to see that this is something that's rolling out. Again, young platform. Even when the more established platforms roll out at the beginning, there were some elementary features and trophy type things and integration that you don't even see in the latest iteration of Xbox or PlayStation at launch. So every feature is not always going to be there day one. you got to roll it out. You got to see how you're going to implement it. You got to make sure that you kick the tires on it. It's not going to break certain things. And so now you see this feature that a lot of people didn't even realize was a there finally coming. And it's great to see that they are implementing this again to make the entire experience seamless on Stadia, because that's their long-term goal. Now, why is that important? Why is having this multiplayer experience important? Well, it's like we said, it is to make sure that that the whole Stadia experience is seamless. That's at the core of what Stadia wants. So again, let's talk about it now. Topic 2. Why is it important? Let me show you something else. All right, so this is an excerpt from the infamous "We're closing down SG&E" letter, focusing on Stadia's future as a platform and winding down SG&E. See, people forget the title, they come up with their own conjecture. Stadia's closing down. And it says, no, they're focusing on Stadia's future as a platform and winding down SG&E. All right. So this excerpt right here, I think, is key that we have outlined here. Phil Harrison, in this letter where he's explaining why they're doing what they're doing, says, having games streamed to any screen is the future of the industry, and will continue to invest in Stadia and its underlying platform to provide the best cloud gaming experience for our partners and the gaming community. This has been the vision of Stadia since the beginning. So this is nothing new. What I just read to you, as far as them building something that is not only great for their underlying retail platform, for their business to consumer platform, but they're also building something that others can use as well. It's been that way since the beginning, and they've talked about that since the beginning. In 2021, we're expanding our efforts to help game developers and publishers take advantage of our platform technology and deliver games directly to their players. So what they're saying is, on top of what we've already wanted to do, which was introduce partners to our platform and then help build ours to be something robust, we're further extending. We're not replacing, we're further extending our desire to extend this platform to other partners. All right. We see an important opportunity to work with partners seeking a gaming solution all built on Stadia's advanced technical infrastructure and platform tools. We believe this is the best path to building Stadia into a long-term sustainable business that helps grow the industry, right? So if you want to see Stadia grow, there has to be things to subsidize that growth. And those things are working with partners and also leasing out the tech to them. It's kind of like what Microsoft did with Havoc and PlayFab. They didn't just hog it to themselves. Oh, no, this is just ours. This is just going to power Xbox. No, they licensed the technology out, and the licensing of that technology helps subsidize a lot of things in relation to Xbox. Where do you think those checks came from or were approved from so Microsoft can expand to 23 studios? It's because of efforts similar to this that was possible. All right. So it's very important to know that, and doing things like this, expanding your not only your technology, but also making your underlying business to consumer platform easy to use, is going to help in your growth within the gaming industry, period. But to even further cement that Stadia has made a big critical pivot towards focusing on getting games and implementing their own special sauce, which is their features and plug and play ability to those games, there is more. Check this out. This is from Input Magazine, and this is an interview that was released the same day that letter that I just showed you came out. And this is an interview with Catherine Hasayo. She's a product manager for Google, and she talks about their roadmap for gaming. And if you read this article, you'll see all throughout it they're focusing on the features, and implementing them into the games that you want to play. And one particular piece that I found interesting is the interviewer asked, well, what is the next upcoming features in the pipeline for Stadia? And Hasayo says, well, we don't have more details to share at this time, and this is February 2021, but we're excited to see the Stadia community of players continue to experiment with Stadia features like State Share, Crowd Play, Crowd Choice, and Stream Connect. So again, you tinkering with the features, them collecting that data, and them using that data to expand even more is key to Stadia right now. And the plug and play nature of things like adding the invite list multiplayer when it's including your friends, of course. All that stuff works hand in hand, all right? Now, this is also important because, again, we look at Stadia's focus. This is one of their more recent blog posts, and they talk about how 20 plus games now are powered by Stadia platform features that change the way that you play. All right. So you look at it, and one of the big ones is Doom Eternal now has Stadia features in it. Yes, the same Doom Eternal developed by id Software that's owned by Bethesda. Right? That's owned by Microsoft. That same id Software team added a Stadia feature to one of the most critically acclaimed games within the last couple of years, Doom Eternal. So that's big. So you may get great performance here or get this there, but if you want a specific way to play, which is State Share, where they take a certain state, a gamer can, and give you certain elements and say, here, you try this. And that could be big for content creators and stuff like that. That stuff is key. So to make it easy for people to do this, make it easy for them to deploy this, and make it easy and seamless for gamers to try it is all key and critical to Stadia's future. So this is exactly why all this implementation, the building of the seamlessness, the adding of the features, why it all goes hand in hand and why it's all important. So now that we've established why this is all important, it's now important to talk about the conclusion. Well, you can only conclude one fathomable thing from all this. It's all about infrastructure right now. Stadia is building it for the long haul. And I get it, and a lot of us get it, right? There are concerns over having the best specs to pound your chest about, you know what I mean? Because Stadia at the beginning did make an olive branch to the tech enthusiasts who care about that stuff. So we get it. But we've now gone into an area to where we've taken our eye off the prize and not realizing what Stadia is trying to do and understanding the pace that it's operating in, right? And now we want to say, well, look, if you don't implement this right now, it's doom and gloom, right? if you don't retain your crown for having the most frames per second or the most polygons, it's over, right? That's what they're telling people, even though we just showed you. Stadia's also simultaneously trying to boost up usage of its features because they feel like that's one of its biggest anchors, that it has not just polygons and compute units and frames, but what it can provide exclusively that other cloud platforms can't provide right now. You know what I mean? So despite all that doom and gloom talk, the facts or precedent in no way, shape, or form match the rhetoric. And believe you me, I am a tech enthusiast. I want to see 60 frames per second. And if I don't see 60 frames per second in certain games, I'm not playing them. You know what I mean? But with that said, I'm not going to take my own personal likes and dislikes and try to paint a broad brush across what this entire community is going to like and going to enjoy and what's going to be the ins and outs of this platform's growth. I know better than that, right? And Stadia, again, is about, at its core, providing the most seamless, convenient, and enjoyable plug-and-play experience to the most gamers possible. Regardless if in these early years a platform comes out with more impressive specs at this moment or the next, it doesn't derail Stadia's plans. One, it doesn't derail it because devs have already attested to the power that they are capable of. When I say they, I mean Stadia. And from what I've been told, and others have been told, consistently, the output that they've seen from Stadia is still more capable than anything that is out retail right now. They just haven't put it out in retail at the moment. And secondly, we'll see it when Stadia feels it best suits their target demo, not someone else's target demo. You don't become the world's most trusted or of the world's most trusted analytical outfits by bending immediately to barbershop talk of y'all better do this now or else, or other unproven conjecture. At the end of the day, it's great to see this implementation by Stadia. It's great to see other platforms do the things that they're doing, and it's going to help out cloud gaming altogether in the long run. No one has the mantle themselves on what's going to improve cloud gaming. And we definitely want to see more from all. You know what I mean? And ultimately, we want to see Stadia features implemented in a way that will have major impact and, like they said, improve gaming for all. That's it from your boy. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, I'm curious what I think. But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, the Stadia Dosage. With all that said, peace! Have a wonderful gaming day.